Hi, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Okay. I should have started off with some fireworks. They're really going off behind me. I can hear them outside. Um, let's make sure that everything is working. We had a great day celebrating really the character of the country that that is going to succeed, and that character is the truth. And Richard was um, reporting the truth, the crimes, the truth. So I make sure I can hear myself. Testing, good. Looks like I'm on. And I wanted to. Sorry, I dropped my glasses. Um, so I wanted to talk about the truth and the force multiplier of the truth. Once you know the truth and you start putting the pieces together to reveal people that are trying, well, not trying, that are deceiving. Their just mode of operation is deception. And, there's no stopping the truth. That's, and I just read a meme that was so clever and I thought about sharing it. And then, party things happened today and then I didn't get to share it, so I'll try to look for it. And I don't know if I can repeat it, but it was just about, you know, um, you don't have to seek revenge because these deceivers, they fall into their own traps. And that's so biblical, right? They do. But one thing we are not seeking revenge, right? Even though uh, a lot of people are really sick and tired of being taken advantage of and all of these crimes being committed against them. And I don't think that that is revenge when you want accountability. I think that's two different things. Revenge might be, taking the law into your own hands. But we are seeking, and we have proof because we're writing the letters every day. We want our agencies, our government institutions to follow the law and identify the criminals, document the criminalities, the crimes that these criminals have committed, and prosecute them and hold them accountable. That's what we want in Richard's case. And that's what um, July 4th is all about. It was about a king that thought that he was above the law, right? King George thought he was above the law and that he could demand things from the colonies. And he was in an alliance, a covenant with the colonies. He was, if you know your history, um, you know how in the world, if you do not get the benefits of the kingdom that the king is over, yet the king wants you to pay the taxes, but you don't get the benefits. You don't get any benefits. You don't have a same relationship to his subjects, and that the colonies were not subject to the king. They were in alliance. They were in a covenant with them. They were in an agreement with him, and he stepped over the bounds and um, asserted uh, asserted himself where he couldn't go. So it was the law uh, that won the day. People can say, "Oh, you could hear the bombs and everything," but really, it was the law that won the day. A lot of terrible things happened in 1776, um, but the 4th of July was not one of them. And it was a very good reminder that the law, the truth is on our side and does prevail, and it might take a long time to do it. Um, Here we are in the 4th year of a murder case for a soldier on Fort Bliss, and people are starting to come forward finally. But it's understandable with all of the politics going on and the COVID measures that delayed everything, and that the suspects are part of the original response team in Richard's case. So that is what really is delaying, um, revealing, well, getting accountability. I would say getting accountability. So, and Richard was speaking the truth, and he was speaking the truth to power, and it really um, was making waves legally. If he was just running his mouth, and I think this is really important, um, if Richard was just running his mouth, they wouldn't care. They're so used to vile and vulgar language. They're so used to people running their mouths. They run their mouths all the time. I have uh, at the beginning this rogue group from the original response team were just sending me volumes of messages, right? Volumes. Um, and I knew that they were up to no good because of the sheer volume of the messages. Um, it was so abnormal that I knew something was very stinky and fishy about all that. And I was right. And we were right. We were right all along. Um, and the military institution just doesn't do things to placate us, just just doesn't off the hand decide to do things. And so people are coming forward now to help explain and put the pieces together why the timeline happened the way it did. And and if Richard was just running his mouth, they wouldn't have cared. But because he was making complaints, official complaints with evidence to the Child Protective Services multiple times, to FBI Houston multiple times, to Washington, D.C. multiple times, that the IG were all over the barracks because of Halliday, okay? Because he was officially complaining with evidence, with reports, and there's things that are missing, but things that have appeared, and we're combing through. And yeah, we're very grateful for that. For it just God's timing in all of this is really incredible, and He thought it was the time for more information to come out. And so, um, this is the timeline, like the canine, right? Like the canine. being misled about the canine, like being misled about Richard's car, like being misled about Richard's phone. So we, like being misled about um, other different personal things about Richard. Um, his Christmas tree, right? So many different things. We were his relationship with Belen totally misled. Um, and we know that she has no real personal history with Richard. We know that, and now that is being corroborated. Um, so with this canine situation, we were misled, right? The canine had a positive hit. Um, there was right then and there at during that time a legal ramification, a legal consequence to the canine's positive hit for Richard's remains. And of course, during that time, November 20th, 2020, through um, Thanksgiving, right? Richard's status was changed. It had to be changed, right? Because they got the positive hit. It was no longer, they wanted to keep him a deserter or AWOL status, but they could not do it, and they changed his status to uh, whereabouts unknown, right? The first CONUS DES-1 missing soldier under the new Vanessa Guillen absent soldier flowchart. He became the first Vanessa Guillen absent soldier, right? During that time. So things make sense now. And we also know that there was evidence to declare Richard deceased. On April 24th, 2024, Richard was declared deceased. So with these things, and we always said we had institutional support, the law required the institutional support because the evidence was there, the hard evidence. And, of course, now our focus is on identifying the criminals, documenting their crimes, and demanding that they be held accountable for this despicable, this really very, very vile and vulgar and violent murder of Richard. And also the follow-up to it, which was a continuous and severe retaliation against him. And with that, people have come forward because, they absolutely see the force multiplier of the institutional support now. Before they weren't quite sure, but now they're like, oh yeah, okay, we see where the institution is going. They declared Richard deceased. They declared him murdered on Fort Bliss. That's what happened there. Murdered on Fort Bliss because the forensics doesn't fit with anything else. And so a Marine has made it very clear that Leilani Hart has threatened witnesses, that she has even threatened her witnesses by, claiming that she has connections with the Samoan mafia, and that so that she has power to sick them on people, right? to sick them to do harm. And now this was very interesting. And we really back uh, verify, double check the information that we're getting before we share it. And this claim is huge because it is so corroborated with Leilani Hart's relationship with Tavita Nusa, the Fort Bliss CID agent. Very clear. He's there's conflicting stories between James Courtney Hart, Dallas Hart, and Leilani Hart, who exactly Tavita Nusa is to them, but they all claim that he's family. Maybe a cousin, maybe this, whatever, that he's a family member. But it's very clear that she was having a sexual relationship with Tavita Nusa. That has been confirmed, that she was having a sexual relationship with Fort Bliss CID agent Tavita Nusa, and that she was given unauthorized access to files in the CID office there on Fort Bliss under the watch of Marlon Soto, right? And that she tampered, that they tampered with Richard's file, that the witness, um, that things were deleted, things are missing. We know that from DES Director of Emergency Services, Thomas Kane, um, because he was in charge of all the videos. And, you know, we're waiting for him to, he already wrote a letter uh, and corroborated that Richard's case is botched, right? Is botched. Um, so with Tavita Nusa being Samoan, right? Um, and then we have the Marines saying, I have my Samoan mafia friends. And if to intimidate witnesses, we know that witnesses were intimidated in our son's case, and an, a witness whistleblower was also um, retaliated against because Leilani Hart, maybe, I don't know if she, waved her Samoan mafia to Bob Moore of El Paso Matters. I don't know. But El Paso Matters caved. We're hearing that there was an influential entity that pushed Leilani Hart into the arms of Bob Moore of El Paso Matters to retaliate against a witness whistleblower in our son's case. I don't know if that's the right word to say, an entity, an individual. Um, we know who this individual is, that, you know, um, put her up to, well, I don't want to say put her up to it because she is such a deceiver. She gladly targets Richard's case, right? Gladly uses false accounts. And think about this. She's using, this Lydia Smith, a false account. Very few people are there with her on her false account. And who's there with her? Amber Chase, Bob Moore. Bob Moore, right? Um, Individuals that were in the original response team in Richard's case that are up to no good, that are absolutely have committed crimes in the cover up. And that Leilani Hart is, you know, just willingly, like, is this her? Is this her mission? Is to cover up, cover up, cover up, use false names, use a lot of names. She has a new name now. Use all these different names and target a case like Richard's case, a murdered whistleblower soldier on Fort Bliss, to rub shoulders with Nick, an active duty soldier from the PRs, from the same team with Allie Payne, with PAO Allie Payne, who was absolutely up to no good, um, in the original team, response team in Richard's case. Absolutely, we complained about her. And, Sean Bernabe was like, well, she speaks for me. Well, we're complaining about you, Sean Bernabe. Dirty, dirty general. Very, yeah, uh, he really needs to be arrested. I'm telling you, he really, just the thought of Fort Cavazos, Fort Hood being under Sean Bernabe, the leadership of Sean Bernabe, just is scary. It's really scary, um, because he's so up to no good. And I don't know if, you know, his SJA, his JAG followed him there. I don't know. Um, because that is really a scary thought too. Um, and the thing is they can have all the appearance of a general. He can have all the appearance of a uh, what do I want to say, of what you would think a general should be, right? But it's just a cover. It's just a cover. It's like a cover of a book. He's putting on the wrong cover. It's just like this site should have been the official retaliatory misinformation, um, prime suspects in the Richard Halliday case, right? The tampering of Richard Halliday's case. That's what the group should be called, right? But then they, uh, say that uh, they want to appear to be, um, worthy of their uniforms, but they're not. Worthy of their positions, but they're not. And, so they're very good fakers. They're very, very good fakers. And I think Leilani is the queen of fakers. She probably fakes everything. Absolutely everything she fakes. Um, and, this Marine coming out saying, if you call out her fakes, and there's a lot of them, he's not the only one. Uh, she gets pretty upset, and then she'll threaten with her Samoan mafia. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And who is that? Tavita Nusa, CID Tavita Nusa, is that who she's talking about? I don't know. I don't know. Um, I do know this, that a witness said that Tavita Nusa claimed to have done bodily injury in Richard's case. That's pretty violent. So, yeah, I don't, I know that the information corroborates uh, each other. And so this is big news. And with this canine information coming forward, and with the gun issue, Richard's rifle issue, uh, that being exposed, um, the purchase of that weapon, we were so misled about the purchase of that weapon. And, with that all being exposed, is along with Nadal Beam and that situation, more information is coming out with that because of people coming forward and because of newly found evidence that's coming out, going through, um, just because we had a yard sale. Wow. It's it's amazing how God puts evidence in front of you. And you think that you go through things with a fine-tooth comb, and then all of a sudden, you do discover that you missed something. So, we are so glad that you're with us still. Um, it's very big information that Leilani Hart was put up to. Um, the actions with Bob Moore, that Bob Moore is even on her site, whatever. It's just, how does a journalist go onto a fake Facebook account, right? That means, you know what that means? That means they know each other. That means uh, that he knows who is behind that, right? He knows that that's Leilani Hart. And now we have um, the information coming out of and it's, you know, there again, you have the connection of the cases. Um, there again. And, who is putting her up to this, uh, organizing. I don't want to say put up doesn't, I guess leading, I guess orchestrating is probably a good thing. Orchestrating, organizing, um, the cover up, the retaliation, the misinformation, the psyop. I think psyop is who is organizing the psyop to keep Richard's case from moving forward in the truthful direction. And yet, I don't think they're successful at all because they cannot stop the truth from coming out. The truth just cannot be stopped from coming out. And I think that this is a good message for July 4th. Um, people absolutely know the truth. This whole thing with Biden, everyone knows the truth. It's not a shock except for the shock of realizing that your psyops aren't working. And in Richard's case, the psyops aren't working. The truth is coming out, and the institutional support is multiplying. They are the force multipliers. And if today, on 4th of July, is any indication that we're still getting even information reaching out on the 4th of July, um, that we're getting the force multiplier of institutional help. And it's, so yesterday was a big day. We got a lot of open records, and we're combing through that. In addition to all the other new information that's coming out, this whole canine thing is just blows you away, really, because that's a step closer in getting Richard's remains, um, and that is our goal, is to get Richard's remains, have the law followed, and have those that um, perpetrated this disgusting, internal, very violent crime held accountable. Those are the fireworks that we want. Um, that every firework is the law being followed, right? A celebration of that. So um, that's, I hope that's a good analogy of 4th of July uh, because today was just such an awesome day. Hot here, but an awesome day, family day, um, lots of great things. And we're still getting information coming forth. So we're so thankful for Team Find Richard Halliday for stepping forward, for being fearless like Richard. Richard, yes, he paid with his life, um, but the children are you. How can you stay silent? How can you stay silent? You see, um, it is, yeah. So we're so proud of Richard for speaking up for the truth, and how he's going to be remembered. He's going to be so remembered. Um, Eternity matters. That was a T-shirt that one of our family members had today on Eternity matters more. Eternity matters more. That was the T-shirt, and I was like, "Ooh, I need that T-shirt." um, the legacy of Richard is a hero legacy. Um, is honoring God legacy. Is a brave soldier legacy. Is a saint for the children legacy. And for national security. And we're just so proud of him. And so we just can't do nothing, stop when he has done so much and even given his life. So we will find his remains. We will. Um, that is absolutely our intent here, is to follow the law and have the institutions follow the law and hold these people accountable. And Bob Moore, why he is on, uh, using unreliable sources. And, you might be wondering, why are you mentioning Bob Moore so much? Bob Moore is the media. Bob Moore's job is to tell the truth to the community. And he has absolutely been a liar. He's absolutely given misinformation, twisting misinformation. I don't even know if liar is the right word. It's, he's, it is the right word. It's a false witness would be the right word. A false witness. And when you have the media trying to spin a narrative that is a false witness narrative, it's kind of like this whole, there's nothing wrong with Bob, with Biden, right? There's nothing wrong with him. He's sharp. He's sharp. He's clever. He's sharp. He's top of his game. No, he's not. No, he's not. He is not. Look at videos with him for 10 years ago and look at him at the debate. Why are they trying to spin and trying to do a psyop, hypnotize us to think, oh yes, he's sharp, he's top. No, it's the same thing with Bob Moore. Oh, he's 501c3 neutral media. No, he's not. Why is he getting tax-free status when he's absolutely totally political and a political attack dog machine, right? Why is he and why is he targeting Richard's case? Um, and the witness and a whistleblower in Richard's case. Why is he using Leilani Hart, a convicted criminal? Why? I mean, he is the media for El Paso, and he's using a confirmed convicted criminal with corroborating evidence, that is official evidence, that she's from a family with a history of crimes against children sexually and incest and illegal weapons purchasing and all of that. And that's corroborated with her communications with her husband, James Hart, then husband James Hart. And why is he using her, right? When she is changing her names and doesn't even, she's just always, um, you know, well, threatens witnesses with uh, her Samoan mafia, and gets unauthorized access to CID files, and then the CID agent is like her family member that she's having sexual relations with, and then he gets his badge removed, and he is no longer in the military. He's separated from the military, and Bob Moore's using her, and she's the mother of Richard's platoon leader, Dallas Hart, who's a prime suspect in the murder of Richard, and he's using her, and he's using Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, who's plainly also targeting Richard's case, also up to no good. What in Richard's case is so dangerous for him that he wants to participate in the cover up of it? And what crime level is that when the media is participating in the cover up of a murder of a Fort Bliss whistleblower soldier? That that is that crime holds more weight. And we're talking about a capital murder case where you're looking at the lethal injection. You know, I don't know if he's thought this through. And so it's, and to reach out to him no less than 15 times. I mean, over and over and over again, and giving him all kinds of evidence. And yet he wants to uh, use our son's photo that we didn't give him permission for, but we gave him all this other evidence about Leilani Hart's confirmed criminal history. Right? And he doesn't even want to respond to us, yet he goes and rubs shoulder with the likes of Leilani Hart, absolutely knowing he has some kind of relationship, a long relationship with Leilani Hart and Amber. Because why would he go over to a site that is a fake site unless he knows who's behind it? So, unless there's this long trusted relationship, and with the help of an orchestrator, an orchestrator, um, so now we've gotten that information that there's an orchestrator. The orchestrator for Bob Moore and El Paso matters using convicted criminal Leilani Hart, Richard's platoon leader's mother, both prime suspects in the murder of Richard. So, and then on top of that, the canine, on top of that, the April 24th, 2024 declaration of death. On top of that, I should have said the canine result, which was the change in status for Richard to the Vanessa Guillen comparison. That's what they did. I didn't do that. That's what the Army compared Richard to. Okay? The Army did it. And were we happy about that? No. And even Thomas Kane, the Director of Emergency Services, yeah, that was not a comparison that we were happy about. And we did not do it. They did it. And with more and more evidence coming out, now we understand why they did it. So, thank you everybody for the 4th of July wishes. We really appreciate it. Of course, my birthday wishes and flowers and cards, and we're very, very grateful. So grateful. And, you know, the force multiplier of the institutions is so important. And I think that that's where you come in about sharing and liking and commenting. And we want to thank everyone for doing that. We've had quite a bit of comments. And, you know, to share, to get this information out, that's what's super important. That's what keeps us safe. And we are absolutely, I want to tell you, we are growing. We are growing. And that's why we're getting so much information to put these last bits of pieces. You know, we've had enough for a long time. We've had enough, but now we're getting even more. And our cup is overflowing. Our cup is, you know, that's what God does when you are on his side, is he just keeps giving that your cup overflows. And so there's so much truth coming that it is just flowing over all of El Paso. You see that with the whole Bill Hicks issue. You see that with the Mario Rascon issue. You see that, of course, with Richard's case. You see that with the Walmart case. And even if there's some frustration there, the cup of truth is overflowing, and it is covering El Paso, and it's going to keep going. And it's going to bring truth to the land. It's just going to water it. It's going to water it, and the truth then will bloom, and we will have accountability, and we'll have the 1776 freedom that we all treasure, because it's about the law, about following the law, being protected by the law, being protected by these institutions from becoming tyrannical. And so, yeah, it's what we hold very dear, that we even have this beautiful holiday to honor it, and to honor those like Richard that speak truth to power. Speak truth to power fearlessly, because eternity matters more. Eternity matters more. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you. Happy 4th of July, even though it's 5th now. But, you know, the celebration was so good, you know, that I had to come on a little bit later. But thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.